Swordfather had some amazing inspirational quotes, and so I figured let's go through the psychology of them together. You can let me know which one was your favorite. The one that I've held for last is my favorite.
We must leave something of how God made it.
I thought we must beat out impurity.
Yes, yet an impurity in the right place is a quality.
I love this quote because it really goes to Mizu and her own feelings of herself being an abnormality or something wrong with her. In order to be at peace with who we are, we have to look at our good traits, our bad traits, and be able to merge them together. And that I love that for Master Eiji is that he really understands that Mizu really needs to deal with this on her own, and that she can become at peace by working on something else, which actually works really well. When we look through a secondary object and we can apply the same knowledge to that, slowly we can also impart that to ourselves. And usually it's a little bit better to accept for someone else to be kind, even though they might have made mistakes, than we often can to ourselves.
Soul steel in the center, hard steel for the edge.
And I think that that also shows Mizu, who Mizu is also, because she has this empathy that is within her, but she's created all of these hard edges on the outside to keep people out, to protect her. And that merge between both that ability to be mentally flexible, yet also be able to deal with all the hardships of life, really gives us resiliency. And so I think that that is another trait that Mizu has imparted from some of Swordfather's lessons.
No. No man can tame this cursed metal.
Oh, that just reminds me of the Lord of the Rings. I just have to mention it. It reminds me of Lord of the Rings where like no man can kill him. And so it's kind of like, yeah, and that's the way that it's gonna work out. I just thought it was cute.
Perhaps it does not want to be a sword.
All metal wants to be a sword.
I love how he anthropomorphizes the metal. I think that we do that a lot, especially when we work with something and it is temperamental and it does have its own personality depending on the day, and you have this relationship with it. But also look at how he projects. He sees his feeling on how every metal would be a sword, but I would figure that other people that work with metal in different ways would see it also in that way, like perhaps every single metal wants to be a belt buckle or every other metal wants to be a spoon, depending on what you create. I love that for him, it's a one-tracked place. Whereas I always see how I will sometimes false positive to see anxiety where there may not be any, because that is my field. This is everything to him.
Forgive me. I have kept from you a secret. One everyone else knows as plain as my face, but you do not.
I know you're ugly.
I love that he just assumes that, and even if that was the case, I love his response anyways.
What is ugly to me?
You are blind, and so cannot see the shame of my face.
I just love that he's like, I'm blind, it doesn't matter. It's okay, I accept you as you are. But I love that he assumes first that it's that she's ugly. Sometimes we assume what someone is thinking, and then we say something, and it isn't what they meant. We wish that we had taken it back. Sometimes it's better to just wait and let them say it before we say it and kind of stick our foot in our mouth. She does think herself as not being beautiful because of her eye color and because her features might be a little bit different. But this is not where she was going. Wait till the person shares. Be patient. Trust me, you'll be really happy about that one.
A creature of shame.
What have I taught you about steel?
Strongest sword is a blend of steel. Soft and hard.
Pure and impure. You may be something shameful. You may also be strong.
I also like the way that Swordfather gives information. He asks people questions. He makes them think themselves, which is actually a really powerful psychological technique. It allows people to have the respect of forming their own thoughts and beliefs while questioning old beliefs. But that questioning allows the person to get there on their own instead of having it forced down someone's throat. That often works with changing very hard-coded beliefs or things that we have this cognitive dissonance to, things that are foundational thoughts and truths to us. So often you can ask a question instead of saying a statement to be able to get your point across. She might be even stronger because of her impurities, or even with that, even with our flaws, that doesn't mean that we aren't strong or aren't able to do the things we need to. He uses a lot of these different Socratean methods of being able to deal with discourse and conflict and discussions in a way that can actually cause concrete change.
The assassin who carries Master Eiji's broken blade.
A soul like that is drowned in blood. There's no stopping them. They will always find their broken blade. We can only mind our own soul, Mizu.
I think that there's so much wisdom in this statement. Take care of yourself, that you can't control other people. You can only take care of what is around you. And I think that that's especially important for people that are caretakers, people that will often feel like they have to take care of other people. They have to control everything that's there. Now, that doesn't mean don't be proactive. That doesn't mean don't take care of things that matter to you and make a difference. But if you're constantly trying to take care of everyone else's whirlwind, you'll also forget about taking care of yourself in the process. So make sure that you mind your own square, take care of the things that are yours to take care of, and also give other people the respect to be able to take care of things that are for them. I also think that Swordfather knows that she's just going to get hurt in this, and it shows a little bit of his protective nature towards Mizu. And also with her strong nature, he kind of has to hold her back, because if not, she's going to want to do everything way too soon and get herself hurt or killed.
Broken is broken.
Then it must be remelted and reforged.
Your sword broke because the blend was wrong.
It was perfect.
It was too pure. The metal wants to be blended with new steel.
Again, I love the ones that really deal with Mizu herself, that her inability to accept herself, her look at herself is that she is less than, that she is a monster, that she is something to be ashamed of, and because of that she wants revenge. Even her sword broke because it was too pure, that having more impurities, having something else added to it would actually make it for a better sword. When we're trying to come to peace, when we're not accepted in the world around us, it can be really difficult when you don't feel like you live in either world, in either culture. It also can cause often a lot of social anxiety where you won't trust people and you feel like you're going to be judged, often sometimes because you've been bullied or judged in the past, so it was true, but because of that you may judge yourself.
Your tools you use in place of hands. Who made them?
Oh, I did.
Why?
To be useful.
Is that all?
I want to be a samurai. I want to be great. Most people laugh when I tell them that.
Is it funny?
That is a wonderful thing. That calling out someone like that, saying, well, was that funny? And just having a straight face with it. Sometimes when someone says something that is rude or disconcerting to us or makes us feel bad, we often laugh along or we don't say anything at all. But to be quiet and just ask, was that funny, or why are you laughing? To make people have to go through how it probably wasn't funny and makes them have to own it. And again, he asks the question. He doesn't say that isn't funny. He doesn't say that. He actually has Ringo think for himself to be able to go, actually, perhaps it isn't funny. Maybe they're wrong.
Samurai needs hands.
Do they?
See, I love that. You hear that? Like, do they? So good. Sorry, I shouldn't interrupt. I apologize. It's just such a good moment. I'll redo that. I'm sorry.
Samurai needs hands.
Do they? As a sword maker needs eyes.
He questions what everyone else believes. He lives outside that box. He makes you question if maybe you shouldn't be in that box either. Not to have to live by everyone else's expectations or feelings of obligations to what society has deemed our place. To be able to rise above it.
Everything crumbled. Your steel.
Perhaps a demon cannot make steel.
Is that so?
The world sees me and sees a hateful monster.
I did not train you to be a demon or a human. I showed you how to be an artist. To be an artist is to do one thing only.
I am 100% sure, I really believe he did that on purpose. He went too far, one, knowing that she would catch him. I think he did it on purpose to teach Mizu that lesson of, look, I also make mistakes, I'm blind, do you think less of me? So she can reevaluate her own thought of herself. Because what he's trying to actually teach her, the lesson of his blindness, that this is something that people questioned of him, that thought less of him. Here he is not being constrained by being blind. So showing his own weakness in an action so that she can understand her mistake that she's made and build that feeling of resilience. Let me know if you also think that he completely played almost going over the edge in order to teach Mizu a lesson. Maybe you could say, Georgia, you're thinking way too much into this, but there's no way. He knows this area like the back of his hand. He used his tongs and pulled forward, something that he uses for walking all the time. It's so much more effective to teach someone something through an action instead of just words. Words are easy. Actions are meaningful, and they often last longer.
Look at me. Cannot fight, or weave, or farm. I make swords. I cook for strength to make good swords.
You think revenge is an art?
Swords, pots, noodles, death. It is all the same to an artist.
And I love that he is so accepting, even though he doesn't agree with her or her path. He's there to support her anyways. I think that's a beautiful thing about Swordfather, that in him she's found this really wonderful, disciplined, supportive father figure.
And I am a bad artist.
An artist gives all they have to the art, the whole. Your strengths and deficiencies, your loves and shames. I made my best blades when I had an apprentice.
I thought I annoyed you.
Both are true.
I love his honesty, that he doesn't just sugarcoat everything. He's really direct. And for people that are more avoidant in their personality types, this is really beneficial. They believe more when someone tells the truth but doesn't just overly sugarcoat it. Which, if you saw my video on Mizu, you kind of already know that we went through why she has that personality type and how it affected her.
There may be a demon in you, but there is more. If you do not invite the whole, the demon takes 2 chairs, and your art will suffer.
That one is my favorite. That's completely my favorite one. It's so perfectly said because it's so true that if you allow something to take over, it will. Whether it be your anxiety, revenge, jealousy, whatever that might be. And it's a beautiful, beautiful statement. And I think that the way that he states it, it resonates, that you become what you give all of your emphasis to. And so not to allow this part of you that you don't appreciate to be able to take up more space than is necessary. Everything has its part and its use, but don't overdo it. That if you don't want something, don't practice it, don't train it, don't give it a second seat at the table if you don't want it to take up that much space, and be at peace with how much space it does take within you.
Then what do I do?
I only know how to make swords. Each morning I start a fire and begin again.
And there we have it. That is resiliency, that we fall down, we make mistakes, we do things wrong, and then we get up, we start our fire, and we start again. And I think that we can all take these lessons to be able to apply them to our own lives. And that sometimes when things break, they can become stronger after. And sometimes when we make mistakes, we can become better because of that. And so all we have to do is get back up and start that fire again. You don't need a blade to steal your mind. Instead, join my sponsor, Skillshare, the community filled with other inquisitive and creative people, because it's a wonderful time to develop more of your own skills. I really enjoy the process of learning a new skill or developing a new understanding of myself and the world around me. Now, I don't know if they have sword-making skill classes. I still have to look that up. But I'm more of a hands-on learner, and so learning through watching someone else and being more interactive and engaging increases my enjoyment and my recall of information. I've already done the class by Andy J. Pisa, who lays out 5 hands-on exercises to unlock your artistic identity. Because as a creator, I think that it's really important to know what is my identity and what do I want to portray in my craft. And the cool part is that he works through the medium of your choice, so you get to explore what you have to say and then put it into your own personal style guide. But Skillshare is so much more than any one class. It's an online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes for anyone who loves to explore new ideas and develop new skills for their career, hobby, or even your own personal growth. Another really cool class is creating confidence and silencing your inner critic. If you've watched any of my videos, you know that that is really meaningful to me. Our inner voice really changes how we see ourselves and the world. In the end, can't we all benefit from being kinder and more supportive to ourselves? This is one skill that you can give to yourself that will last a lifetime. And because you're watching this video, the first 500 people will get 1 month free of Skillshare. So there's nothing to lose. Just try it out today for free. So just click on that link in the description below to start exploring your creativity today. So I want to say thank you to Skillshare and thank you to you for watching this video. Hopefully I'll see you in the next one. So those are some of my favorite quotes from Swordfather. I don't know why I'm so emotional about it. I just really liked it. You can let me know if I missed your favorite quote or which ones were your favorite in the comments below.